Can you imagine getting sent thousands, sometimes tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto straight to your wallet? Well, that's been happening to many people in the crypto space who have been on the receiving end of some often very lucrative airdrops. And with so many airdrops popping off right now, people are frantically searching for the next opportunity to be sent potentially life-changing gains. That's why today, we'll be giving you a complete beginner's guide to airdrop farming. We'll go over what airdrops are, where to find them, how to maximize your gains, and we'll throw in some pro tips along the way as well. This is a video you literally can't afford to miss. Now, before we go on, folks, I need to let you know that I am not a financial advisor and nothing in this video should be considered financial or investment advice. Also note that airdrops may come with their own tax implications, which can vary depending on your location. So always speak to a tax advisor if you're unsure. And depending on your jurisdiction, you may not even be allowed to take part in airdrops at all. So be sure to double check before you commit any resources to hunting them down. Now, if you're unfamiliar with airdrops, here's everything you need to know. So, as the name suggests, an airdrop is when crypto or an NFT is sent to your wallet after you've claimed it. I'll quickly note right off the bat that airdrops should always be completely free. You should never have to send any crypto or fiat currencies in order to claim one. Generally speaking, the word airdrop has become an umbrella term to include both normal airdrops as well as bounties. Bounties are basically airdrops that are given as rewards for completing basic tasks, such as following a Twitter account, joining a Telegram group, referring to friends, etc., etc. Now, if you're scratching your head wondering why a project would give away free crypto, that's completely understandable. I mean, it seems kind of backwards, right? Well, in a nutshell, projects will do airdrops in order to jumpstart adoption. The most obvious benefit to distributing tokens is to quickly raise awareness. And many projects have opted for an airdrop distribution in place of an initial coin offering, or ICO. Now, one of the earliest ever airdrops came in 2010 in the form of the Bitcoin Faucet, where early Bitcoin contributor Gavin Andresen gave away a whole 5 free BTC to anybody who completed a simple captcha. Gavin ended up giving away a mind-melting 19,700 BTC during that time. Sure, captchas can be a little irritating at times, but this one would have been well worth the admittedly minimal effort required. Back then, 5 BTC was worth pennies, but if you'd have hodled since then, you'd be sitting on well over $300,000 at today's prices. So, if anyone out there wants to pay me that for doing a captcha, then let's talk. However, the pioneer of airdrops as we think of them today was the decentralized exchange Uniswap. Back in September 2020, Uniswap sent early users of its platform 400 Uni tokens each. At the time, that was worth around $2,500, a pretty decent reward for DEX-based degeneracy. However, any who held on to that Uni until it hit its all-time high in May 2021 would have found themselves sitting on almost $18,000. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, smash that like button to give it a boost, subscribe to the channel and ping that notification bell to catch our next one. Anyways, there are other reasons why projects might choose to do an airdrop. It could be that they want to create more utility within their ecosystem, or, as is more often the case in DeFi, they may want to foster a more decentralized community governance. And if you're a project looking to generate some publicity and get yourself noticed, announcing that your users are in line to receive free tokens is often a pretty good way of generating coverage. Now, airdrops have in the past been a great way to boost capital if you didn't have much to start with, and often with little effort required on your part. Of course, nowadays, things aren't quite so simple, and accumulating these airdrops has become much more time-consuming. And to be honest, a whole load of projects will give out free tokens that are absolutely worthless. To make matters worse, the popularity of airdrops has also given rise to bad actors using them to scam and phish people's funds. Don't worry though, we'll be helping you avoid these risks throughout this video. I was trapped inside a cage made out of the daily grind.
I was so unfulfilled. I felt like a blank sheet of A4 paper.
Something was missing from my life, but I didn't know what.
But then I found what I'd been missing.
The Coin Bureau deals page was the answer to my prayers.
It had everything I needed to make me complete.
Exchange sign-up bonuses of up to $60,000.
The biggest discounts on the best hardware wallets.
Trading fee discounts of up to 60% on the best crypto exchanges.
Exclusive altcoin alpha.
Thank you, Coin Bureau, for bringing me back to life. So, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at how you can put together your very own airdrop strategy. Now, broadly speaking, there are 5 types of airdrops you can look at. These can be labelled as hard fork, standard, holder, reward, and early user. Each of these will have their own pros and cons, and you'll need to be aware of them in order for you to build a strategy that works for you. So, the first type of airdrop comes from a hard fork. Basically, if a blockchain forks to create a new chain, holders could receive the coins of either the older or the newer chain. For example, when Bitcoin was forked in November 2018 to create Bitcoin Cash, any holders of BTC were also given the same amount of the newer BCH. So, if you held 100 BTC, you received 100 BCH completely free. Let's be real though, this sort of thing doesn't happen very often, so we don't really recommend you spend your precious time looking for the next chain fork to take advantage of. So, with that one scratched off your list, let's go over some of the more realistic methods you can look at. Standard airdrops are the easiest way to get free crypto as they require little to no effort. Usually, you just complete a simple task and provide your wallet address. The caveat is that the tokens you receive from these are almost always worthless. And here is our first pro tip. Check out the project's socials, its X account, Telegram channels, and Discord. If an airdrop appears to exist only to create hype, consider that a red flag. Instead, it should be encouraging you to use the product or protocol in question. Now, the next way you can get airdrops is by simply holding a coin or token. For example, the coin you're holding could be a layer 1, like ETH, and you get a token for a project within its ecosystem. So here's pro tip number 2. You won't get these airdrops if you hold your crypto on a centralized exchange, and you're more likely to receive airdrops if you stake your crypto. Just be sure to avoid staking with centralized validators like Coinbase, for example, because they will gain the rewards, not you. Coinbase is rich enough, I think we can all agree. Anyways, speaking of rewards, the next way to farm airdrops is by earning them as, well, a reward. This could be for promoting a project on social media, or it could be as part of a points-based system for certain on-chain activities. Usually, you won't get told that an airdrop is coming, but in a lot of cases, these tasks reward you with points. It can be worth doing these tasks because those points could translate to the amount of crypto you'll receive if an airdrop does in fact come. Moving on, the final way to farm airdrops is to be an early user of a dApp or protocol. When it comes to early users, there are 2 subcategories here: testnet users and early adopters. Of all the farming methods you can use, testnets are the cheapest option. In fact, they're completely free. The catch is that because they're free, they're also quite popular. This means they can be very competitive, and the airdropped crypto is spread thinly across a lot more participants. The top users are often likely to gain more, so if you're planning on staying ahead, you'll need to spend a lot of time on these and do a whole heap of transactions. These transactions could include things like doing swaps, using a native bridge, providing liquidity, and claiming faucets. Now, occasionally a guide may be provided, but it's more likely that you'll have to figure out these steps yourself. Most projects won't reveal the criteria until after a snapshot of the blockchain has been taken. By that point, it's too late. As for the early adopters, meanwhile, they are the ones who use a live protocol before its token is released, and this is where you stand to have the best chance of success. Similar to testnet farming, you can use these protocols to provide volume and liquidity with transactions by doing swaps, bridging, or even participating in on-chain governance. Again, these will usually allow you to earn points. Unlike testnets, however, this is the most expensive farming method. That's because along the way, you'll be paying gas fees and indeed any other fees the protocol charges. However, doing this in conjunction with other methods we've mentioned is the best way to position yourself ahead of the pack. If a project launches or releases a mainnet without a native token, there's a good chance a token will come later at some point, and the earliest and most active adopters could stand to make the most gains. And if you're using a DEX, you could potentially be farming 2 cryptos at once, one for the project in question and another for the DEX itself. So, now that you understand the different types of airdrops, you're probably wondering how you can go about finding them. Well, there are a number of resources you can use in order to find that next big opportunity. The obvious starting point is on Twitter, or X as I suppose we should call it these days. You can follow projects, the devs, and even the ecosystem the projects are built on. Pro tip number 3, interact with a few airdrop-specific influencers. Not only will more projects pop onto your radar, but the algorithm will kick in and you'll have even more suggestions later. Now, if wading through the murky waters of crypto Twitter/X doesn't sound like your thing, then another great place to look is DeFi Llama. On the left-hand menu, you can select Airdrops to reveal a list of protocols that don't yet have a token. Sorting these by TVL can often reveal the ones most likely to do an airdrop soon. Just remember though, this isn't guaranteed, so make sure you do some extra digging before spending extensive amounts of time on them. Or if you're looking for some of the best curated airdrops by top-tier airdrop farmers, then you can check out the link below to the Coin Bureau Discord. Over there, we have a channel called Airdrops Alpha, which is run by AirdropGlideApp, one of the best-known airdrop prospectors there is. We'll leave a link to his site below, and we definitely recommend checking it out. If you're looking for other websites, meanwhile, then you can also check out airdrops.one, airdropalert.com, and airdrops.io. We'll leave links for those as well. And if you're interested in the best YouTube channels for Airdrop Alpha, I have to give a shout out here to CryptoCito. Nick recently interviewed him for Coin Bureau Clips, where he explained his strategy for optimizing airdrops, and I'll leave a link to the interview as well as CryptoCito's channel in the description. You are well advised to follow him if you don't already. So, with a list of resources you can use, how can you identify the ones that have the most potential? Well, there are a few things you can look for before you begin your farming adventure. If you want, you can note these down as a checklist to help when you DYOR. So, the first thing to ask is, does the project already have a token? If the answer is no, that's a good start. That's not to say that a project that already has one is a bad thing, but it's much better to find those without. If the answer is yes, you'll have to be a super active user on the platform to stand any chance of being gifted some. Now, the second thing to ask is, does the project have a large, passionate community? Check the project's follow account on X, Telegram, and Discord. And also, check the levels of engagements its posts get on these platforms. After all, getting free crypto is great and all, but if nobody's paying any attention, it may as well not exist. No one wants an airdrop of meh coin now, do they? So, the third thing to look at is what competing projects are doing. If the project you're looking at doesn't have a token, but its competitors do, then there's a high chance that one will be released soon in order to keep up. The fourth thing to look at is how much money the project has raised, including any VC backing. Pro tip number 4. If a project has raised a lot of money without a token, you could be onto a winner. That's because at some point, investor expectations will have to be met. The fifth thing to find out is whether the project has alluded to releasing an airdrop at all. This could be the developers hinting at a reward. Alternatively, there could be something hidden within the tokenomics or even the white paper. Anyways, the sixth thing you need to ask yourself is, does a token even make sense? Obviously, if the project is a meme coin, the answer will probably be no, but then when do meme coins ever make sense anyway? But if the use case is something that nobody will care about, then ask yourself who will be there to jump on board later. Pro tip number 5. If you really want to find the most lucrative airdrops, look for those dApps and protocols that add real value. ones that you'd probably end up using even without an airdrop incentive. The same logic applies if you're farming NFTs. Look for the ones you'd be happy to hold even without an airdrop, from a collection that you think has real potential. Speaking of which, the 7th thing to look at is the future potential. You can get a sense of how successful a project will be in the long term by looking at its tokenomics. And by the way, if you want to learn more about tokenomics, you can check out our video on just that. Link is below. Now, the 8th and final thing to assess is how many people you're competing with. This can be easier said than done, but try and get a feel for how many other wallets could be eligible for the airdrop you're looking at. If a rumored airdrop is being talked about all over X, you're probably going to get just a slither of the overall allocation, no matter how much time and effort you put in. The dream combo for those life-changing gains is a project that has real utility, doesn't yet have a token, has raised lots of money, and doesn't have many people talking about it at this early stage. So, with those pointers in mind, you should have everything you need to start your airdrop quest. Before you jump in, though, you need to be aware of the risks. First, there's the risk of wasting your time just to receive worthless tokens. What's more is that airdrops are very rarely guaranteed, so you could end up doing all of this for nothing. I'm not sure who needs to hear it, but there is nothing more valuable than time itself. Thankfully, you can avoid wasting your precious hours by using the checklist we just covered. There's also the risk you'll come across scammers who will use worthless tokens as a vector to try and drain your funds. So, how can we avoid this? Well, the answer is not to rush into anything. While the prospect of free crypto is undeniably exciting, doing your research is just as important as it would be if you were buying that crypto on an exchange. There are quite a few tricks scammers use to try and catch you out: dodgy URLs, poorly designed websites, strange wallet downloads, or bots claiming to offer customer support. These are all phishing attempts with the sole focus of getting your private keys. And once they have your keys, they have access to your entire crypto kingdom. That's why it's important to verify if an airdrop link is legit by checking a project's official Twitter account or the official website. If you're still unsure, then Telegram can be a quick way to check if links are a scam or not. Usually, either answer will be in a pinned message. You should also always check that links aren't hiding any fake characters, such as replacing the letter O with a 0. So, pro tip number 6, if you're not sure whether a link is suspicious or not, copy and paste it into a Word document and change the font a few times. You'll quickly be able to identify the characters they've hidden in plain sight. If you're being instructed to download a specific wallet in order to be able to claim your funds, then that is highly likely going to be a scam. And at the very least, it's incredibly suspicious. Definitely best to give those a miss. Safety first, always. Now, when it comes to connecting your own wallet, the best way to avoid losing your fortune is to set up a burner wallet. That way, if your funds are compromised, you won't see your entire portfolio ripped away from you. And pro tip number 7, a wallet's age and transaction history can sometimes be factored in for airdrop eligibility. So, when you set up a burner wallet, consider sending the vast majority of your funds to the new wallet you've just set up and use the remaining crypto in your old wallet for airdrops. Remember though, you should never put more crypto at risk than you're prepared to lose. On that note, you should never, under any circumstances, give your private keys away. And, as we mentioned at the start of this video, you should never send any crypto or fiat in order to claim an airdrop. Think of it like this. If you met a random dude on the street who promised to give you $1 million if you gave him $100 first, would you believe him? If the answer to that question is yes, by the way, crypto probably isn't for you. And finally, remember what we said in the introduction. There could be legal and tax implications around airdrops depending on your location, so always check that you're able to take part before you do anything else. Now, to be successful in your journey, your best course of action will be to master one specific ecosystem rather than trying to farm everything all at once. As the old saying goes, the person who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. For the purposes of this video, we'll be looking at the Cosmos ecosystem. If you've ever interacted with Cosmos, you've probably already used Kepler. Not only is the wallet super easy to use, but the Kepler dashboard offers a great UX that really keeps things simple. So, on the dashboard, navigate to staking. This is where you'll want to stake your coins, but be sure to avoid centralized validators like we mentioned earlier. To refresh your memory, no centralized exchanges, nothing within the top 20, and no 0% or 100% commission. Shout out to CryptoCito for that tip. Take your time in selecting the right validator, as it could be the difference between receiving those airdrops or missing out entirely. Once that's done, you could even follow this up by liquid staking your already staked assets, which could make you eligible for even more airdrops. You can also take part in governance votes. Now, the great thing about Cosmos projects is that most will already have community governance baked in. Not only will this increase your airdrop potential, but you'll also get a say in the future of a project. This is obviously important, so make sure you read the proposals first and don't just go voting blindly. And if you want to seriously up your game, then a great Cosmos-specific tool is Cosmos Leap Wallet. Here, you can create your own wallet or just import one you have already, such as your Kepler. If you then navigate to the left of the page, you'll see a dedicated Airdrops tab. Not only does it show you what you're eligible for, but all links are vetted to ensure they're the real deal. And if you look over to the right side of the page, you'll then see a button that says Explore Upcoming Airdrops. Now, this can be a great place to start if you're looking for projects to research, so go ahead and click that little dude. The dashboard you'll be presented with shows you an extensive list of airdrops within Cosmos, such as those that are claimable, officially announced, and speculated. Pro tip number 8, it's this last one you'll want to keep a closer eye on. Another good tactic is to assess the narrative you think will blow up in the bull run and stake the best coins within that narrative. What this allows you to do is optimize yourself for future airdrops rather than constantly farm, which could save you a lot of time and effort. So, with those few tips, combined with everything else we've covered in this video, you should now have more than enough to make a start. Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of ways you can position yourself to get free crypto delivered straight to your wallet. Those gains could be just a few simple tasks away. But stay safe out there, my friends. Set up that burner wallet, check those links, and most importantly, take your time and do your own research. Never send keys, crypto, or fiat money to claim an airdrop, and don't download any dodgy wallets. Keep everything decentralized as you go, not only to maximize your chances of receiving airdrops, but also to support the network. And be an early user of dApps, DeFi, and protocols. At the most, you'll be more eligible for free money, and at the very least, you'll learn more about crypto. That's a win-win in our books. And finally, be sure to check out the links in the description for our Discord and for CryptoCito, as well as the other resources we've mentioned. So, with all of these tools at your disposal, you should have more than enough to build your own airdrop strategy and start raking in that crypto. Happy hunting. And that's all for today's video, folks, so if you learned something new, show it by smashing that like button. If you want to see more educational crypto content, subscribe to the channel and ping that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. If you're looking for the best discounts in all of crypto, then be sure to head on over to the Coin Bureau deals page, because it has trading fee discounts of up to 60% and sign-up bonuses of up to $60,000 on the best exchanges. Be sure to take advantage of these limited time offers before they're gone. The link is, of course, in the description. Okay, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. This is Guy, signing off.